welcome back, guys. In the top left corner, it's going to be Creator from Team Prime as your red Protoss player. In the bottom right corner, your light pink Terran player, it's going to be Sting. Getting a game finally. Onto the scoreboard. 2-1 is going to be the series set at the moment. Now remember, we are in a best of 9, so let's see if Sting can get a couple more wins under his belt.
All right. Well, we definitely will, and we certainly would like to. I mean, we're always
more games.
Not trying. I'm not biased in favor of Sting necessarily. I'm just saying that I would prefer it to be a nice long set rather than just a quick 5-1 stomp. So, well, we'll see now what Sting's going to do. He's gone Command Center first 2 times in a row. In game number 2, that was a platform to another big 2-base all-in. He was baited pretty hard into switching into heavy Viking play and then ended up getting smashed to pieces. In game number 3, though, it was a much longer, protracted play. Now, part of that may have been caused by Creator going for that charge lot Archon strategy, which never really panned out for him.
I'm curious to see if Creator's going to open up with a Nexus first. We've had 2 games in a row where Sting has actually gone straight into Command Center. And actually, he's only for a Rax first here. Yeah, that's an economical Rax. It looks like it's going to be a 12. Yeah. It's a little bit on the early side, but we'll see what he's going to go for here. So it looks like Creator's going to go and fall up into a gateway. He's just playing super safe. He doesn't want to deal with Sting or any shenanigans in any way, shape, or form here. So I'm okay with that. I'll back up and actually falling into Simulator as well. So he's actually not scouting this time. Hasn't sent a probe out.
So there are a couple of things, and this could actually, of all the games so far, this could actually hurt Creator the most, because we see that barracks into Refinery, and that gives Sting a lot of flexibility. That used to be, I'm talking a year ago, year plus actually, we would see, you know, Terrans all the time, 2 racks out of this, produce 2 barracks, make some bio units, put on some pressure, things like that. Protoss players found ways to deal with it, and then we started to see a slow transition from the 2 racks play, still getting gas first, but into factory play, 2 big 1-1-1 strategies. Those are still a threat, even though they're not as viable. But clearly Sting has a purpose for this gas. It could actually just be for a reactor to make a bunch of Marines and then expand behind it. Yeah. But I'm curious what it's going to be, as it looks like he's saving up to that 100.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be a factory here. And I'm wondering if he's going to go for Banshee play. Banshee play is actually pretty strong on this map because you can bounce between the main and the natural. Kill off any probes here and there. And then, of course, Cloak is always a nice addition, especially if your opponent doesn't go for a 3-gate robo, which is pretty standard. But Creator's been going 3-gate robo the last few games, so I'm actually kind of thinking that Sting might just go straight for Banshee. Just go for an aggression attack and just use micro to his ability here, and just try and kill off as much probes before his Banshee is dealt with. Or at least do multitasking. Have 2 Banshees come in, 1 in the top, 1 in the natural, and then just back and forth. Because he's really good at like having units being aggressive, but macroing at the same time. So I think he might just forego Cloak and just go straight for double Banshee, but we'll see.
All right. Well, you know, Sting has a perfect look around Creator's base. He's got a pretty good idea of what's going on. And it looks like Creator is going to expand out of this. Of course, it's always very interesting when that happens, though, and you're forced out of there before you explicitly see that Nexus. It's always just in the back of your mind. Got to be worried that something cheesy is happening. Yeah. But it looks like he's preparing for anything appropriately. He has that bunker up at the front.
Well, it looks like we have some units in the top right corner here, but Creator kind of scat it. Man, he knows Sting. He knows him. He's like, I know what you're doing, man. You got something on the field. So there's that starport on the way. Already being queued on up in the factory there. And this actually, yeah, this is going to be Banshee just from the positioning of the units as well, or the buildings. It's just going to head at top right and come into the natural. But I want to see what he's going to follow up into. Will be a straight quick into Command Center and then follow up into a couple rucks afterwards, or what's the plan here for Sting?
Well, he really wanted those Marines to not be found by anything, because if those Marines were here, he was actually guarding the path that the Banshee was going to take, and he could have just run those Marines up and made sure that the coast was clear, and it would have come through unscouted. But now, it's a little bit tougher.
He's even checking again. Smart play from Sting, though, like just making sure that his runway essentially is clear. And actually, there goes Cloak, so I make things up, and it doesn't ever happen. But I was actually another thing, a good thing about the 3 Marines being there, they can come up, they can do some damage to the straight health points of the Stalkers. They come in first, makes it way easier for their Banshees to kill off Stalkers, of course, and then follow up with more aggression. But again, all that plan was foiled by Creator just knowing Sting and going for a probe in the bottom right corner. Just excellent game sense, opponent sense, actually, overall, because you're not going to see a lot of players just send a probe there for no reason. But looking into Sting, first Banshee is about to finish up. It's a little bit over 60% done, and of course, Cloak being queued up, it's a little under 50% here. So yeah, it'll be on the way. Robo is already up and ready for Creator. We gotta keep an eye on that Observer.
Creator was feeling very worried in this game. He knew that those Marines were over there for a purpose. There was something a little strange going on. He's trying to scout multiple times. Didn't quite get far enough to be able to see. No, actually, I think he may have. He may
that was
have
the first scout. That was the first probe that came in.
But he built his gateways a little bit early. Built them on 27 supply, so he was already feeling like he needed to get some units out to be able to respond to things. And then built his robotic facility a little bit early too, at about 31 supply. That's usually the point when protest players are feeling confident that they'll put down their first 2 gateways. So everything happening a little bit earlier so we can get that observer out and he can see exactly what's going on.
Creator's playing so safe. Second observer already the way. He's in the 3 games in a row. He's gone double observer straight into an immortal. Now with the observer being here, oh wow, he whooped in Zealous instead. The Sentry's in trouble. Oh, there's some stalkers there. So looks like he will be able to deal with this Banshee. Some micro will have to be done here from Sting. You want to kill a good portion of probes at this point. To put yourself behind going this tech route, you want to kill at least 6 to 8. It's always a nice, comfortable spot. But it looks like behind us, he's actually followed up into siege tanks here.
Okay, we are going to have a massive all-in.
Yep.
That's about to happen from Sting. Sting, yes, you pointed it out. He decided to go for his siege tanks. He decided to go for 2 additional barracks, and all of this is off of 1 base economy. So he's just going to charge a lot of SCVs across the map here in a bit and try and brute force down his opponent.
Well, he's going to go ahead and keep harassing his probe line here. He has not gone for siege mode, so that's something to note as well. And it looks like he's going to try and retain his Banshees here. He's going to let him take a little bit of damage, but he's going to bring SCVs as well to repair these.
Yeah.
Banshees actually are a big deal. He actually did this game against Grubby, I believe. This was actually the exact strategy he did against Grubby, except without siege mode. And game number 5 to kill him off at IAM. So he's just going to walk up here, kill off his natural, and then just push his way to victory. Will Sting be ready? How many workers has he killed? It's
11.
11. So 35 to 29 with that mule. It makes it a little bit even here. But again, this is an all-in. He just wants to have just as much SCVs as he does his opponent does have probes to kind of nullify each other out. This is going to be actually a really strong push here from Sting. And actually, Creator stopped making probes as well. He's just preparing to defend this.
Yeah, he already produced a couple of additional gateways. Yeah, it looks like he's got 5 in total. So that plus continued Immortal production. Immortals, of course, are going to be very, very valuable here. And this is kind of a weird map to do this because Sting, if he gets his siege tanks close enough to actually hit anything of consequence, they're going to be within range of the Immortals. And Immortals are going to deal with siege tanks very quickly. So Creator's going to have a good opportunity to get those in range to be able to defend this.
So I think Creator is reading this as it's going to be very marine heavy. With the core, I don't think he saw siege tanks being produced, but there's a lot of Banshees being created here. We have 4 on the map, almost 5, I believe.
Well, he sees it now.
Oh no, he sees 1 Banshee there, and he knows of the 2. There's 1 up in the top left corner, and there was a second one floating around somewhere. And so it's going to be very Banshee heavy. The point is he's going to try and kill off Stalkers here when he gets into the engagement, then deal with the Immortals, and the Banshees will just reign supreme and destroy everything. Marine siege tanks will be able to be kited, pulled back whenever necessary. It's going to be a really strong push. We've got to keep an eye on these Stalkers, guys. If they go down, then suddenly Sting's going to be in a really good position.
Okay, well, behind this, you know, and obviously we're just kind of waiting for the moments in which Sting's going to go.
So much patience, man. I'd be freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, he's scouted me. I need to push. I need to go. I gotta kill something. Like, he's so much patience from Sting. I love it.
But at some point he is going to have to go. I mean, the switch is going to be turned. Yeah, it looks like he's going to coincide this push with siege mode finishing up.
So this exact push he did against Grubby. Exactly.
Okay, and there they go.
Here we go, man. SCV's pulling across the middle of the map here. There is a Zelnaga covered by Creator. Did he just pull that? Wait, is there an observer? Okay, there's the thing. The Stalker had the Zelnaga and he pulled it back immediately. He's like, oh my gosh, he's going to miss the push coming across the middle of the map. But the observer spotted everything. Banshees are here as well. So 2 things are really important here. Killing that observer and killing Stalkers. So we'll see how it goes.
And he's going to try and meet this out in the middle of the map. And that's actually going to force Sting back. Very cool stuff because Creator wants to play the delay game right now. He's going to be starved out of this game slower than his opponent. He just needs to pick off units and pick off units and pick off units and not lose large swaths of economy and units at the same time.
Well, the Banshees are moving forward here. They're trying to get a couple of free pot shots on those Stalkers. Any damage you can do here is very important. Again, not really much of economy is coming in for Sting, so that this time is ticking here. Like you said, it's a delay game. Siege tanks will go ahead and siege on up here, and he's actually going to get a couple of units for free in the top left corner. He's actually going to split his units pretty nicely, but actually, Creator has a lot of units here on the bottom right, but the Zealots are stuck.
Yeah, that's right. But as you see, these tanks are actually being shot down very quickly. The Immortals are doing some pretty good work. And Creator, how much economy has he actually lost so far? 28 workers in total, so he pulled off a lot to be able to deal with the front line. And Sting's actually doing some work here around the side, but it looks like the Zealots are going to be enough to finally close all of that down. It comes down purely to just Banshees that are left over, and the Banshees actually have to retreat because there are enough Stalkers left over to be able to take those out, and Sting is down to 39 supply.
Creator just crushes that, man. Such a good job. Once he scouted those exit racks.
Whoa, no
wow.
GG.
Wow, Sting, man. Whew.
Yeah, and that's game number 4. Creator now at a 3-1 advantage.
He must have just hit the wrong button. The escape button's pretty close to the GG.
Yeah.
So, well, the F10N actually.
Yes.
But nonetheless, Sting falling down. What is that now? 3-1
yeah.
in the series?